Charles was very upset. For reasons we know nothing about, he had just murdered his landlady and her 7-year-old daughter. For hours he'd been standing around in doorways, thinking it over and hearing in his despairing ears the thing his mother had said to him over and over again as a child. "They'll hang you yet, Charles." So the early hours of the day passed, and he was no nearer to an understanding of this thing that had happened to him, whatever it might have been, that made him destroy something held sacred by the laws of society. But understanding or not, he now knew the penalties prescribed for his caprice. He realized also that it was possible that they might allow him the rest of his days to ponder his fate, if he could only bring himself to surrender to the police now and confess to them his dilemma, his guilt, and bewilderment. Unfortunately, for reasons we know nothing about, the torture chambers on the way to absolution frightened Charles. And he decided that he did not cherish the thought of spending the rest of his days pondering a guilt he knew nothing about. Not knowing what to do, he at least resolved not to surrender, even though his arrest was imminent. He would take a walk and put the matter out of his mind, as if he had the rest of his life to live, as if he had not virtually committed suicide back there in the night he could hardly remember. So he took his walk, enjoying the limitless scenes around him, as if he had the rest of his life to live, remembering that he had a right to live after all. But in the afternoon, he realized that his time was over, and it was simply a matter of making a decision, which he made. What does one think in one's last moment, he thought? What does one think? Does it suddenly sum itself up? Is there one picture or flashes? Yes, that is the final goodness of life. In that last moment, memory will be forced to operate in its true capacity. And the past will flow by before my eyes. Now all I have to do is to find a place where I can put myself in that last moment. Then he remembered a place he had often thought of before, and he walked toward it, still enjoying his walk. With his last dime, he removed himself from the threat of red tape and embarrassment, and the slate was already clean.